Oh my gosh, ladies and gentlemen, it is episode 73. 73 of the Get Reelisms podcast. I am Adam Rani.
And I am Christine Chen, and we've got guests.
Thanks for having us. I'm Brandon Haynes.
And I'm Michael Landry.
Welcome, you guys. Thank you so much for being on the podcast. This is your first time.
It is the first time. Again, thanks for having us. We've been spending a decent amount of time with Christine lately.
That's translation for too much time.
No.
So since you spent too much time, yeah. Has she made threats to you yet? I'm kidding.
No threats. It's been a lot of fun.
I'm like, let me clean. I'm sorry, I'm still here.
No, it's been a lot of fun, and we've been enjoying talking about being creative and our mutual projects and future projects. So it's been good.
Yeah. No, it's been. I actually opened up the New Year's in Los Angeles on Brandon and Michael's big ass awesome project. So I want them to talk more about it because it's pretty. I think it's awesome. And when I heard about it last year, I was like, I want to be a part of it. So Michael, Brandon, whoever wants to take the lead on it, tell us about the title of your project and what you've been working on.
Yeah, it is called When We Grow Up. It's a series that we have been developing over the last year. We actually came up with it on New Year's Eve of 2020.
Yeah.
So it's been a little over a year, and we shot the first half of the pilot. We were shut down because of a little COVID thing, but we did get 4 days out of our 6 in, so it's very exciting. It's something we've been developing a whole season, but we've been putting it together with some friends of ours and a cast. We have 6 lead actors in it. It's about, well, why don't you tell them what it's about? You're good at this.
It's an ensemble series with 6 leads. Basic premise is, 6 30-something-year-olds in Los Angeles, just trying to, figure out life. We all have come to accept that 30-year-olds today look entirely different than the 30-year-olds of our parents' generation. A lot of us don't own homes. We don't have children. We're still in pursuit of professional goals, and there really isn't a clear roadmap of what it means to be a successful 30-year-old. And basically we examined our own lives and we looked at the lives of our friends and what we were each going through, and we decided to make characters that mirror our own journey. And so it's a show where you watch 6 closely related people struggle with life, love, career, triumphs, failures. It feels very real. It feels very close to us.
Our friend of our podcast, Roxy, says, but we've got dogs.
We do have dogs. That's nice.
Michael and I have no dogs.
Not yet, you guys, but once you do, change your life.
But we've
That's good.
Our 6 characters are mostly creatives, actors, dancers, singer-songwriters, photographers. One of the characters is a surgeon, and he draws a little bit of inspiration from my own life because my day job, I'm a urologist who is incredibly unfulfilled by that, and I'm much more interested in following creative passions and creative pursuits. And so put a little bit of myself into the character of Derek.
when did you find out that you were interested in creative stuff? Like, was it always there, or?
Yeah, to be honest, it was always there. And I thought about film school, but I always wanted to be a doctor. And I figured there's no way to go to film school and be a doctor, but if I went to medical school, I could still do film stuff. And so it just felt like the safer path. But I don't know if it was necessarily the right choice, but you know what, it got me to where I am. And I'm grateful for that, because I do have this like safety net, and I have job security, and I have a skill that can't be taken away from me. So whatever, this is where I ended up. But it was always in the back of my mind. But I pursued this math and science route full force. Yeah.
It's probably what my parents would have liked me to have done.
Well, I was just going to say, I'm like, you are that much significantly smarter than most filmmakers already, which is incredible. So hats off to you, sir. That's great.
I don't know.
Yeah, producer right there.
Yeah, exactly. It's just like, you can work out the numbers and stuff. You got, he's a Swiss Army man. What can you say?
Yeah, it's given me some strengths, definitely, in the creative process and in producing. But yeah, if I could leave it and just tell stories and make a living telling stories, that would be the ideal goal.
This isn't Michael Brandon's first project. We actually met last year? Louisiana?
No, it's almost 3 years. No,
3 years?
19.
What?
Yeah.
Right when the pandemic hit. Right where the pandemic hit. I met them on their Nice to Meet You, but I'm glad I said the title right, since I butchered every single call sheet.
Oh my God. We had an entire episode about this. Like we literally mess up on titles of films all the time, to the point sometimes where it'll be the last day of the shoot and I would say the wrong title for like a 30-day shoot. And they're like, yeah, it was this title, right? And I'm like, oh, we've been on the shoot for like a month and no one corrected me. So I'm just that idiot. Damn it. Okay.
I thought Christine had actually was making jokes, like being fun with it.
Yeah, that's what they thought too.
Yeah, it was nice to know you.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, that's funny. And the next day was something different. Like,
yeah, well, when I caught on to it the second day, I made it completely wrong too.
We're not disrespectful.
The second day was on purpose. Yeah. First day was like.
Yeah, we're not disrespectful. We're just illiterate.
Yeah, but it was. I just got back from a month-long shoot of I don't even know where, and I get a call being like, "Can you AD tomorrow?" And I'm like, "Yeah, what's the weekend?
Yeah, what time?
What am I going to do on the weekend anyway? Sure." And that was it. And I'm very glad because I met Michael and Brandon, and their film made top 5 in the film prize. It's awesome, and it like has like 30,000 views or something on YouTube.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
Up on YouTube last month.
Already got 30,000 views in a month, which we're stoked about.
Oh my gosh. Congratulations, gentlemen.
They'll put the link if anybody wants to watch it. It's pretty
we will.
awesome. Yeah, it makes you cry. So,
dude, I love dramatic stuff that make me cry. I don't know what it is, but that and scary shit, give it all.
Yeah.
Give it all to me. I need it.
Yeah, I like a good mix as well. I like scary movies. They're fun.
Oh yeah, 100%. So you said this was a series. How long did it take you guys to, I guess, develop the arc of y'all's story?
The overall arc of it came really fast. Actually, I mean, it really was on like New Year's Eve. We were watching another limited series thing that we saw that was made for like $2,000 or $3,000, and we're
What was it called?
It's called Giants.
Giants.
Yeah,
okay.
It's
James
called Giant.
Bland.
It's created by James Bland. He's becoming quite successful now, but that was his first big project. It's an independently produced and distributed series.
It's on BET Plus now,
Mm-hmm.
but they ended up on their second season. They won several daytime Emmy awards.
Yeah,
for it.
Wow.
I think the second season was somewhere. I mean, I might be wrong on the numbers, but they probably only spent like 17 or 20 grand.
it was
really
$1,000.
Yeah.
Wow.
Holy shit! And it was like 30-minute to an hour type stuff,
Right.
like for each episode? Or
The episode runtimes varied, but they were usually probably around 15 minutes.
Yeah. 15
Okay.
to 25.
They made it with $2 to $3 grand.
I was just gonna say that's really impressive. That's insane. That's
Well, that's
really
what he
good.
says, so.
Yeah, I mean, I think it was just he wrote it, directed it was the star in it. His friend was the other
Right.
star, and then they had a cameraman and a sound guy,
And that's it.
they just
Yeah.
did it on the weekends here and there, just in their house, kind of shooting and then
You're
putting
just
the
cutting
story
multiple
together.
checks at that point. Wow,
Yeah.
that's awesome.
So yeah, it was really impressive, and it kind of inspired us because we were trying to figure out what to do after Nice to Meet You. We had finally finished it, I guess, in November, and we're kind of talking about it and realized we love, we consume a lot more episodic content than we do films at this point in our lives, and we really enjoy it, and we really like to analyze episodic series and whatnot. And so we're like, why don't we do this? And we started like kind of putting some different ideas we had for shorts together, and we're like, oh, we could just do like, what if we took 6 people and we like named out our friends who we would cast right away? And we started talking about it, and we kind of made a arc for the first season, like, because we knew it didn't have to be this big crazy thing. It's just trying to figure out certain things in life. And so we're like, what if it started here? They were doing Molly one night, and they all started kind of having these revelations, and then the season is them just trying to put those revelations into practice into their life, and we kind of figured out where it would end. So we had like the beginning and the end of a first season, and then we kind of started developing it from there. But yeah, that came in a couple hours. The name came the next day, and I think by the end of that week we had made
An initial like
a little pitch
deck, and we went out to
cut a little sizzle from some just
stock
footage and whatnot,
and then we went to the cast, the actors with those materials, and then they said yes, and then we started developing the characters a bit more specific to each actor in an attempt to foster some authenticity. 2 of our 6 actors have never acted before, and so we tried to make their characters as close to who they are, and I think we've been successful in that. But yeah, we had an arc for the season pretty early on, and then we just spent the last year really teasing out the details of the story and the treatments for each episode.
Yeah.
And you only have the episode 1 written out, right? Fully. That's the one we're shooting right now.
Yeah, we were just talking about this. We only have a completed script for episode 1. We have really detailed treatments for each subsequent episode, but we were hoping to get the pilot shot and edited, and go through post-production, and then sort of use that to continue pitching while continuing to write more scripts.
Yeah, I think we felt like, well, let's go ahead and get the pilot shot and done and see what we learn from that. See how the characters come across on the screen before we really dive into each episode and kind of learn as we go along, which is, I think, Issa Rae, when she was doing hers, and James Bland talked about that, like doing it in a slower process helped them adjust as they went along, instead of having to like write it all and shoot it all in 20 days or 30 days. And then sitting in the editing room being like, okay, let's try to make a show out of this. They tried to adjust as they went along and learn from what they'd already shot and see the characters come to life and start writing true to each character as they are coming across on screen. So that's kind of our, like, although we do have the treatment for everything, we're trying to wait till we finish this, and then we'll start ideally putting together a writer's room. Is our dream, is to put together a room that looks like our cast, and of about 7 to 10 people, and in a perfect world we go away on a retreat and write the rest of the scripts, but so we'll see how it goes.
Hawaii.
Yeah. Let's do it.
No, that's cool. I think it's interesting because I'm getting into the development of series as well. That's really fast to be able to develop something.
It's very fast.
Entire season like that, with all the treatments. How long did it actually take you to write the first episode of the script itself?
Months.
Yeah, several months.
Yeah, I bet. Well, because there's so many
How much
characters.
of it
right?
is
Yeah.
improv? Because I know you guys did
Right.
rehearsals and stuff too to make it authentic to each character. So did you like give them notes as to these are the beats, and then they like riffed, and you kind of maybe based your script off of that, or was it very scripted and then they riffed off of that?
I mean, it was very scripted. but
Okay.
we did like table read and rehearsal, and sort of saw what came out of the actors' minds and what they did with the lines. And we asked them, you know, if they felt there was a better way to say this, or if their character would speak this way. And then we revised the script to sort of incorporate some of those things that just happen naturally. It is really difficult with 6 leads, to write for 6 very unique and distinct voices, which is why we really want to assemble a writer's room in which certain writers are, you know, assigned to that character, and they're charged with protecting that character and making sure that what we write is true of that person. And the reason it took us months and extensive revisions is because we were always trying to fine tune that. Like, is this what Derek would say? Is this how Bree would react? Yeah.
I think even like before we did a full table read with the cast, we would set up sessions with each individual cast member and go through all of their lines and have them read them out and just talk about them with them, like in a loose way, and like just say, would you say this in a different way, or like read it out loud. We'll kind of table read it with you and just try to find their voices, because at one point we noticed several of them were sounding very similar
because we wrote it.
Us, right?
Yeah.
Adam Mack is our co-creator. She's in New York. She's the third part of this little trio. So the 3 of us have been writing it with the help from some of like Becca Cuco, who plays Chris. She has been one of the writers or helping us. So she's very involved in all of it, but especially with her character, she will give us notes constantly about, and that's what you're trying to get to, is like, we saw that working with her, where she was really caring about her character. And from the beginning, I think quite often once, and other things where it's written, that happens, but closer to on set, you know, because you're casting very close to when you're getting ready to shoot. And so the cast starts coming back with some ideas, but we've been able to do that very early on. And so we've been able to like really delve out these characters with the actual cast members who are going to play this character, which has been fun.
Yeah, and we don't, prior to Nice to Meet You, I had no screenwriting experience, and I don't consider myself well, I guess I'm a writer, but that's not a craft that I've developed over, years. We intended for this project to be entirely collaborative. We knew when we brought the actors on that they would be involved in developing their characters and essentially writing some of the episodes, whether or not they're like in front of a computer actually typing out dialogue, but we have involved them in the writing process from day one.
Yeah, we even did like, before we wrote, before we did the treatment, once we had the cast, we did these like workshops with each of them, where they were like 3 or 4 hour Zoom sessions, where we just got to know them more in the context of the show and talk to them as actors, and like, what have you been typecasted as? What is your dream role? Like, what are things you haven't gotten a chance to play or show about yourself? What would you want to explore thematically with your character? And really, that was fun, because we thought, like, if we can take these 6 cast members and our friends, but give them the role of their dreams or role of a lifetime, like they're going to care just as much as we care, and like we can make a united front together of all of us trying to create the next room or get into the next room together, instead of one of us by ourselves, or like asking our friends, can you just shoot this with us real quick, and then they go on about their lives, and we take it and try to make something out of it. We're trying to all do this together and get to a place together, and that process has been really really exciting and different and fun.
Makes it super personal for the characters too, for them to like kind of develop it for themselves on their own, of course with the help of like plot and stuff, but I fully believe too characters can easily drive plot. Like they can easily like sort of like take the steering wheel of the plot depending on who the character is and how much you want to focus on that said person. But I feel like, I feel like the kind of plot will show itself over time. I know like it took months for that to develop just for the first episode, but that's because you have to establish 6 fucking voices. That's insane. I mean, I'm working on a script and 3 characters is giving me a crisis. Like I don't know how I feel, you know, but 100%. I can't imagine.
It's been the biggest challenge.
And how has that translated to the actual filming process? I mean,
it just makes it infinitely more complicated because our, this is an independent project with we don't really have money, and these actors are our friends, but they're professional actors and professional dancers, and they have very busy schedules, and just the feat of coordinating schedules of 6 very busy people is really difficult. And then when you're on the set, having to get coverage and singles of 6 people on a conversation, it's hard. It's really, really, really hard.
Sounds like fun employment with Christine.
Ursley
too.
There's a lot of people in that film. Hats off to you, Christine. That's such an accomplishment. We got to watch it last night. I'm so proud of you, and thank you for sharing it with us.
Thank you. No, it's funny, just like you do an ensemble and you're like, why did I do that? I'm never gonna do that again. And then you like maybe write one short for one person, and then you forget, and then you're like, all right, I have this next great idea, and again, like 8 people.
Well, for when we grow up, the pilot has to introduce these 6 people, but our subsequent episodes will focus on not all of the cast at once. We will feature them in some way, but the episodes sort of start breaking up the cast and really honing in on specific storylines. And that should make shooting and even writing easier. So I'm looking forward to those episodes. The pilot and the finale of the first season are doozies, and the finale even more so than the pilot. But
the pilot is closer to a 30-minute setup, because it's a lot to introduce these 6 people and try to give you an idea of where their stories might go, and make you invested and interested to see where their stories might go. And that was quite complicated in the writing process. But after that, we've kind of there will be shorter like 15 to 20 minute, and we've kind of broken away from having to do a 3-act structure so much, where we view them even as like little short films where it's just 2 characters go to Palm Springs for the weekend, and it's everything that happens there and their little like vacation, and so it's just set in that way. And so we kind of built that knowing that it would get a little easier as we go along, where we can take 2 of the cast members and a couple people and go away for the weekend and shoot a little.
It was an Animal House. We had 6 cast members, and it was like, and the crew was there less crew than there were cast? Wait, how many crew members did we actually have? We had a sound. It was a very tiny crew. It was like 6. It was even. It was like pretty half and half. It was all one.
That's fun.
Yeah, and it was all in Brandon and Michael's apartment. Yeah.
It was chaos. Like, if we were shooting in one room, everybody else is in the other room, and it was
you got to know each other pretty quickly.
Yes.
The cast was always like, where's my stuff? I'm like, we had to move it. I don't know.
Art needed it actually.
I look forward to the day where I don't have to shoot in my own home.
It was nuts, but it's fun. I think there's just I think for me, what was most exciting to watch was, like you mentioned, that there were people in there that had never acted before, and just watching them shine on camera was really, really cool to watch. So there were 2 specific dancers, Yoey and Shivapatra, who are like incredible dancers, like pop and lock, and like I've spent many days on Instagram being like, holy shit, on all their stuff, and they're like killing it in like on screen, just being themselves and being really comfortable.
Thank you for saying that. We know that they're stars, and they already are in what they do. They've never acted before, so it's it's a challenge, but we put them in there because all we need them to do is be themselves, and they will make these characters pop. So
So I guess there's some fun facts. So you said Yoi was the one who did the dancing for Encanto. Is that?
Yeah, so if you've seen Encanto, the lead character Mirabel, Yoi is the reference dancer for her. So anytime that character is dancing, it's actually Yoi, and then they just animated her.
Oh my God, the dancing was beautiful in that.
Yeah,
Really?
yeah, it's really cool.
Oh my
yeah.
God, that's fucked up. That's amazing. That's incredible. Oh my God, Encanto almost made me cry too, dude. That movie is insane.
It's so good. It's so deep. It's
dude,
it's really
way too deep.
Message. Yeah.
It's on a molecular level that is just like hitting way too close to home, to the point where like my window cracks. Like it's just it's nuts, dude. I love the story. Yeah.
I have my dad's the youngest of 11, and all of his brothers and sisters live in New Orleans, which is where I'm from, and we have lots of cousins. We're all on a group chat, and everyone's like, "You check out Encanto? Like this is our family. Like what's going on?" Like,
dude, yeah. Did they follow us all our lives? This is our lives. This is crazy. Yeah, that movie is awesome. And the choreography behind it too. So like, are there like choreography in this show as well? Like, is there like
the characters that we're discussing, Yoi and She, are real life professional dancers. In the show, they play real life professional dancers. They're also real life partners. They're in a relationship in both real life and on the show. But in the show, we will incorporate their careers. We have this ambitious episode where they are rehearsing for like a tour or music video or something in the midst of a difficult time in their own relationship, and so they're like fighting through this choreographed dance.
Yeah, and Cleopatra, who is one of the dancers that we're talking about, she is a director as well and choreographs for a lot of things. But her and I are going to co-direct that one together and really work on a fun way to show like this, where they're fighting during rehearsal. So they're dancing together, but fighting the whole time. So it's like this one day where they have this big breakdown of their relationship, but they're having to like work together and do this dance together, but also are trying to have a conversation about their relationship and the future of it. And so I'm looking forward to working with her on that and seeing
it's gonna be fun.
Can do. Yeah.
What were
I look forward to seeing that. That's amazing. I love that.
Yes, me too. I was sorry.
Yeah. Don't get too excited, Christine. Good God.
No, I wanted to know because it's one of the slickest pitch decks I've seen. What were your visual inspirations, show-wise for your show? So, like, what were the current shows of today that you were inspired by?
I'll let Michael take that away, because the pitch deck is beautiful, and that's 100% Michael Landry here. With he'll show me things. I'm like, okay, yeah, that's amazing. Do that. And but I'm really proud of that pitch deck and website. But that's all that's meant.
Thank you. As a team, I mean, I think the shows that we were watching that really inspired this were everything from Atlanta to Normal People.
I was just about to mention Atlanta. That it like there's so much feel of Atlanta. I love that show. Yeah,
they do a good job of grounding it in reality and kind of not feeling stuck to any rigid formula for each episode, and we enjoy that freedom. I Made It For You is another one we were looking at a lot.
And Insecure, with an LA set.
Issa Rae is a genius. Yeah.
We are the biggest fans. I joke about this because I've met Issa Rae like 3 times in real life, and she never remembers. But
oh, that's so heartbreaking.
I'm like,
sorry.
One day.
Yeah, for sure.
No, I mean, our dream when we came up with the idea initially was like, let's make a show that we can get to Issa Rae and get on her YouTube channel. Like that is our goal, and that still would be just like epic to us to get to work with her. She's kind of like a mentor of ours without her knowing us. We watch her masterclass, we watch all of her speeches and videos, and really follow her career, and extremely inspired by her.
The other reason I mentioned Insecure is because our cast, when they're together, they're just naturally a bit comedic. And so in starting the shoot, we are tackling serious issues, and there's it's a drama, but you're gonna laugh because when they're on screen, it's just funny, and who they are is just funny. So yeah.
Yeah, and I think that's one thing we learned in shooting. I mean, independent shooting, you don't always have luxury of time, and so it's like constantly like, okay, we're an hour behind, but trying to like build in space to give them the time to like riff and be themselves, because that stuff, like now that I'm editing it, it's so good and it feels so real, and I think it's really going to help the show in a lot of ways to add that levity and that humor to what they're going through.
Yeah.
We have to pop in and be annoying and be like, I'm sorry, but you're very behind. Stop doing so many takes. Yeah. Okay, I'm gonna go to the corner now. Yeah.
You have to do that because you gotta get it in the can,
Yeah.
No more stories with 6 leads.
Right.
Exactly. That's what we
We're
all say.
done.
Yeah. I said the exact same thing after Fun Employment. Well, I forgot about it already. And then I made Ursley. And then I am saying the exact same thing. I'm like, I want a 8-person crew, 2 characters, and we just go somewhere cool and just like have a workcation. Yeah.
I
It's
think
a lot.
like, but that's the thing though, like and it's hard to develop that kind of chemistry with 6 people and just to like hope and pray that it's just going to work, but you guys but I'm like saying like you guys like already kind of knew that, especially knowing everyone's personalities. You just sort of like, oh, this would work with that. Let's just see what happens. We know it's going to be good. So let's just see how they vibe together. And it could have gone south for sure, but you still maintain the level of respect to the character and the level of respect to the actor to kind of make that character shine a little bit. Like you kind of meet halfway with the actor, and then they sort of like take it and run with it, which is even more awesome too, because that's like half your job already done in terms of directing. You're just like, oh, you're really good at this. I'm just going to sit back and enjoy the show,
Yeah, it was fun curating a group of people that you were like, we would, because they were all friends of ours, but some of them hadn't met. They were from different parts of our lives, but we in our head were like, oh, this group of people, just them as humans, not as the characters meeting, are fun together. And we shot, I guess, when was that, in June or July, we shot a little sizzle with the cast to do our crowdfunding campaign, and just in having them all in the same room finally and hearing them just hang out, we were like,
oh wow,
I just wanted to set up
this is the TV show. Yeah,
this is it. They are amazing together, and we're hoping to capture that in the pilot and beyond.
What's been the hardest process for you guys, or the biggest learning experience for you guys during this process?
No more ensembles.
No more ensembles.
Every step of it is so educational, because I'm speaking for myself. 2 years ago, I had no experience doing this, so I feel like I am in film school and producing school, and right now. Filmmaking's hard, and raising money is hard.
Yeah.
That part is the most challenging. Yeah.
We have about 7 episodes just on funding alone. Like it's insane.
Me crying. Literally
Crying,
just me crying.
I get it. It's not a fun part of it.
Yeah.
And I mean, I think writing, once you have like everybody committed and we're going and we're crowdfunding, it's like if the pressure amps up on what you actually are writing, because it's fun to talk about it and do a treatment of it, but when you actually sit down to like, what does this person say right now? It's like, oh wow. And just trying to, like, we've learned from past things, like, it's constantly like put it there and then trim it down, and then almost throw it away and rethink that whole scene, like really trying to figure out what is the purpose of this scene,
and only put that in it.
Get rid of it.
Yeah.
With only that purpose being there. Try to, like, how quick can we get to that purpose this without it. You feel like exposition and whatnot. And we have like Alvaro Valenti is one of our executive producers, and it's been really great because it's 4 of us in the creative team. Me, Brandon, and Madeline are writing it, and Alvaro stays out of the writing process until it's like time for notes. And he's a exceptionally talented producer, and has read so many scripts, and so he gives really, really good notes. And it is that like we get excited and we like work for weeks and we're like, okay, here, and then he comes back and
it's terrible.
I have a bunch of I'm like, why do we need this scene? Who is this? I don't get this. And you're like,
sometimes I'm like, oh, you can leave the room. I don't want to hear from you.
I gotta stare at a wall for an hour.
When we pick our feelings back up off the floor, we're like, oh, he was so right. We actually don't need that scene. It's crazy. And then, but that process has been really like just learning to like go over and over and cut it up and start over and throw it out and try again, and really being like okay with receiving those type of notes and okay rethinking things and not like digging our feet in the ground. We have the whole time we're constantly like, maybe they're right. Like if 2 people say they don't understand this part or this thing, like maybe we're missing something here, and maybe it's that we're trying too hard. We already pigeoned ourselves into this room where this conversation's happened. Does it have to happen here? We were even yesterday talking about in editing what we have so far. We're like, wait, we keep thinking that their conversation needs to be about this, but what if it actually wasn't even about that? It could be about a totally different issue that may be even more impactful because they have multiple issues.
We just revised the pilot script. And we've already shot 4 of the 6.
Well, I guess we're taking the shutdown, the unplanned shutdown, as like
to make it better.
Using it as like trying to find the silver
lining. But I mean, there was like an old Kevin Smith quote where it's like everything's in revision until final cut. It's just like everything's always in revision. So you're going to live with that. And then even after the point of final cut, you're still going to be that OCD rocking back and forth. Like I could change that. I could change this. I could change that. It's just like, it's fine. It'll just let it be the way it is. But also make sure that like your greatest hits are on paper, no pressure.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. And I think doing that process of writing, like really breaking it down and understanding the point of each scene helps so much on the day when you're shooting, especially when it's low budget and you're just like, gotta go. It's like, wait, did we get this? I just need to make sure I get this point clearly, and then we can move on, but I have to have that, and I think that has helped a lot instead of just going into it and being like, oh, let's get all of this and feeling connected to every line in the dialogue. It helped a lot this time for me to back up and be like, I can let go of those scenes. I think that they'll probably get cut anyway, or those lines. I need to make sure we have this part right here because that is the point of this,
Yeah. Are you guys gonna do test screenings by any chance? That was the biggest thing I learned from Ursley is the value of screen tests.
Without a doubt.
And this whole process is really frustrating, but also eye-opening. It's just you're exactly right. Especially after you deliver like your first cut or something, and you're like, I put so many hours in this, and this is exactly what I want, and then someone just goes and it's just like, no, this is bad, and you're like, it hurts. Mine was like that. Ursley, the first time I showed it to the distributors, they're like, you need to cut like 20 minutes from this. And that it's like, it's not going to sell. And I'm like, great. It hurts.
So brutal. I know you put yourself out there. It's really vulnerable.
I'm just going to take a 5.5 hour walk.
Yeah, I was so mad. Like that was my first reaction. I was like, oh my God. And then like so mad. And then you pick up your feelings and you're like, okay, what is it? What does that actually mean? And I think that's the part that you learn the most from this process is sometimes people will say something, but that's not exactly what they mean, right? So they'll be like, this scene, you don't need it, cut it. But like, what do they mean about it? Do they mean that it's legitimately you don't need it, or they just don't understand why it's important? If it's just what they don't understand why it's important, maybe it's just the way that it's cut, Yeah. And so I think that was the biggest thing learning process for me was this feedback session, was going through and recutting and thinking like, this is it. And then like still recutting. Like, it's just, I mean, like, when is it ever done? It really isn't. I think somebody said, I don't know who quoted this once, but it was just like, I don't think it's ever done. It's more just like you get sick of it and then you're like, that's it. That's it. Yeah, I'm done. I'm done. Sick of it mentally. I don't think I can like look at it. And the thing is, like, maybe 2 years from there, you'll pick it up and be like, oh shit, I could have done this and this and this, but that's just how it goes. Yeah. So, well, we are at, because I know you got places to be. We are at the, I think, about almost an hour mark.
Like 55.
Yeah, 55. So
Yeah.
is there anything that you want to, I guess, let people know about your show, about Nice to Meet You, about anything that you want people to look out for, or words of encouragement? Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, we'd love, if you haven't seen Nice to Meet You, to check it out and tell people about it. We're really proud of that one. It's 10 minutes. It's on YouTube now. It's a very personal story, and yeah, we're just really proud of the work that was done. It was
What is the story about? Pitch it real quick.
It's about a husband and wife meeting up at a bar, at their favorite bar, to discuss the end of their marriage after the husband comes out of the closet. And so it's they're kind of like, it happened a year ago and they're finally meeting back up to kind of talk about it and go through it, because they're separating because of this authenticity, or search for authenticity. And that it's two people. It's basically a breakup story. But it's about it being a little more nuanced, where it's not like somebody, cheated on someone and each person hates each other now and they just walk away. It's like two people that are still in love, but having to separate because of this. And so
that's awesome. And it's on YouTube? All right.
Yes, it's on YouTube now.
Well, shit, everybody. It's for free on YouTube. Go watch it
It's
right
really
now.
good, guys.
Are you out of your
Only
mind?
takes 10
Let's
minutes.
go.
Yeah, it's really, really good. Yeah, I'm in it. I'm involved in it. Yeah.
Yeah, Christina.
Yeah. That was fun.
And then when we grow up, please follow us. We're still crowdfunding, so if you have some extra dollars lying around, throw them this way.
And
You said the crowdfunding is still going on?
It is.
Okay.
Yeah. Check out our website and our Instagram. Our cast is really cool outside of this project. Follow them, and you're definitely will find entertainment there.
And pitch deck is on the website if you want to see it. We're really proud of that, and we felt like we just wanted to put it all out there instead of trying to go around and sell the idea first. We're like, because we didn't want somebody to want to buy it and then take it and make it creatively the way they wanted. So we're like, let's make it the way we want, and hopefully somebody will see that and want to take us
along with the ride,
along to create it in that way. And so it's all out there for you to see and learn about. Yeah, so check it out. It's www.guseries.com is the website.
Yeah. And it's awesome. You guys should be very proud of yourselves. I was so excited when I heard about the concept. I was like, oh my God, that's me. Yeah. 30-year-olds moving to LA and being confused as F what their life is supposed to be like.
Yeah.
That's how I feel like right now.
Yeah. We're going through it as we speak.
Yeah. Us too. Absolutely. The themes of it really connect. Every time we tell somebody about it, they're like, oh my gosh, that's me. And we're like, oh, we might be onto something here. And if we can make it where people relate to these characters and the story, I think we have something really special that we're excited about.
Yeah, very excited. Thank you both.
Yeah. Thank you guys.
To be here and talk about the project. Yeah,
of course, we're happy to.
We should do more of these.
Yeah,
we would love for you to come back.
Catch up. Yeah, we want to catch up for when you're done with the entire process, because you still have 2 more days. And then because what's gonna happen, or when's the next series? Like when's the next episode? And series are a whole different ball game. So that'll be fun.
We're learning that in real time.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, so that'll be fun to talk about. So I think there's so much growth in series. I think a lot of the exciting storytelling is in series right now, and it's incredible to see so many people that are able to make something for so little and then like expand, so gives me hope. That's my next project, is to do a series too. So yeah, following you guys. Yeah.
I love it.
That's right. Well, so we're at that time then, Christine. So we're taking this plane for a landing. Thank you again, Brendan and Michael, the greatest storytellers that are new to the game, but already veterans of writing. Already.
Those are
You guys-
kind words.
You guys have come far and wide, and also with previous careers, and we've all had previous careers, and we kind of hit that plateau in our lives where we're just like, there's got to be more to life than this, right? Like this can't just be it. And then we find this, with the love of filmmaking and the love of storytelling, just period. That's what goes around, and that's what I love so much. That's what creates a real relatability to your show. And we thank you guys so much for being part of this. This is the Get Reelisms podcast, so you people know to pick up your Get Reelisms book. Now, the reason why I say this every single episode is because this is film education, ladies and gentlemen. This is film education, over 100 pages worth, and it's all yours on getreelisms.com. Film school right there, ladies and gentlemen. Boom. Done. UrsleyFilm.com for the preview. And these filmmakers have used it too, and they're storytellers.
Yeah,
Come on.
Was using it on the set of Nice to Meet You, because I was
Really?
like, wait, I don't even know what people are saying. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's awesome. I love that. So please, everyone, UrsleyFilm.com for the previous episode needs. We're posting backlog episodes to all the podcast platforms. Get Reelisms.
Yeah, follow WWGU
series.com
Yeah.
and check out the
grow
crowdfunding
up.
and watch the free video of an amazing story called Nice to Meet You on YouTube.
Oh, thank you guys.
And it's free,
Yes.
people. I mean, give me a break.
It's awesome.
Just search it up.
Quite great. So
Thank you, Brendan. Thank you, Michael, so much.
Thank
We
you.
want you to come back anytime. You're friends of the podcast now. So you just hit us up and you're like, hey, I'm coming on this week. I'm like, okay. Fine. It's cool.
Deal.
So thank you guys so much. Thank you, Instagram. Thank you, Facebook. We're leaving. That's it. We're done. That's it for content, for free content. Okay, bye.
we gotta go watch the Rams now.
Watch the Rams, everybody.
Yeah.
Thank you.